In part 1 of this series, we learned about the history of coal, its boom and bust cycle, and why coal has been so vital to Appalachia. In part 2, we'll look at how the decline of coal has affected the everyday lives of communities that were literally built for the industry. For a lot of Americans, coal isn't exactly something that crosses our minds. But if you're an American in Appalachia, especially in eastern Kentucky, coal is everything.
Coal has done a lot of wonderful things for Appalachians. You know, it gave a lot of people jobs and a roof over their heads and, a purpose.
I was pretty shocked to find that coal production there is at its lowest point in the region since the Great Depression. And nearly 13,000 coal jobs have disappeared in Kentucky in just the last 8 years.
When the economy just dropped here, the people were just scattering. They have no idea what to do. They lost their house, they lost their cars, they lost their land, everything.
If you drive around here, you'll see cars with license plate tags that say, coal keeps the lights on. And there's such a sense of pride of, we were able to provide for the nation. It's just such a sense of loss.
In 2012, the coal industry took a major downturn. What coal is left is harder to get to and more expensive to mine, and the country is turning to cheaper forms of energy.
We've lost about 900 of the best paying jobs in this county in the last 4 years. I don't care if you're in San Francisco, if you lose 900 of the best paying jobs, you feel it. You especially feel it in these coal fields where the economy has been bad for a number of decades.
At 34, Jeremy Brock has had 2 back surgeries to treat injuries from the mines. A 4th-generation coal miner, coal means being able to provide for his family.
Coal to this region is everything. I mean, it's the only thing. I've aged more the last 4 years than I have my whole life because of stress of, maybe I'll lose my job today, maybe I won't. It's looked really bad.
Jeremy took a $5 an hour pay cut in the last 4 years, from $33 to $28 an hour. But he considers himself lucky to still have work. He and his wife bought a gas station store as a backup plan for when he's no longer able to work in the mines. But nothing will pay him like coal did.
You can't take a coal miner that is used to making $70,000 a year and McDonald's making, $7.25 an hour at 20 hours a week, and the reality is that's not going to make anyone happy.
In eastern Kentucky, 30% of the population lives below the poverty line. Once the site of fierce labor wars where unions made mining jobs safer and more lucrative, the last union mine was shut down at the end of 2014. To make matters worse, many miners who lost their jobs didn't work quite long enough to get a pension.
In order to get the pension, you had to have at least 21 years in the mine. And a lot of guys had about like 15, 16 years. And that's what, that's a bad situation.
Roy Farley and his wife, Kimberly Shepard, run a small welding business. They saw the coal industry wreak havoc on their community in Harlan.
I mostly remember the after effects of my papa working in the coal mines because he got black lung from the coal mines, and there's a certain cough around here that a lot of the men have that's a cough from black lung. And so I heard him suffocate essentially in front of me for like 25 years because it's a really slow thing.
Roy couldn't find a job despite his bachelor's degree, so he decided to start his own welding business last year, which Kimberly joined. But starting a small business in eastern Kentucky is no easy thing.
It takes us an hour and a half to get to the interstate from here, so it's really tough if we need to go somewhere and shop for our daughter's school clothes, or like I said, if I have to go to buy a piece of equipment, the closest welding shop's over an hour and a half from here.
With the odds so high against them, I wondered why Kimberly and Roy decided to make a go of it in Harlan.
When you don't have money, you can't
pick up and go.
Leave.
Right.
If I think we sat down one time and figured it out. Just to go from here to Lexington would have cost us over $3,600. Just the move alone and the deposit on having a new apartment. So if you don't have $3,600, what are you going to do?
That would have been half of a yearly income for me, essentially, at the time,
A lot of people did leave, by the thousands. In fact, 1,100 people leave eastern Kentucky every year, and the death rate is now higher than the birth rate. But some aren't ready to say goodbye to coal, the only economy they've known.
They still train people. Right now, in the building behind you, they're training people to go work into mines that don't exist. I might
It's been like that for like 6 weeks now.
I might get backlash for saying that, but
whatever. It's the truth. People can't see it.
It's hard to watch people walk in that building to go train for a job that's not going to be there when they're done.
During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to bring back coal jobs. But from what we heard from people in the region, no politician would be able to make things like they were.
That's what Mitch McConnell said, you know. He was going to bring coal back to coal country. Hey guys, like I say, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but a lot of this stuff depends on the economy. If there's not a need for coal, you know, there's not going to be jobs.
I voted for Trump, but he's not going to help us. He's not a knight in shining armor like he portrays himself or everybody portrays him.
Trump said he's going to bring back coal. I don't believe him.
For many, it's not about some politician coming in and fixing things. It's about the people of Appalachia working to get Appalachia back on its own 2 feet, without the coal industry. During our trip to Eastern Kentucky, we learned that there is a way that Appalachia can get on and succeed without the coal industry. So in the next video, we'll meet some people who are trying to make that happen, including one couple who left their corporate jobs in the city to move to a small town of 2,000 people to try to help rebuild it.